All right, guys, welcome to the Linus Tech Tips live stream with special guest Slick. Well, you were a special guest at one point.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like
6 months ago?
no, must have been more.
It was December.
It was before Linus Media Group split out on its own.
Yeah, it was either December or like late November.
Yeah.
Because that was when my arm was messed up.
Yeah, that was
So that
like you were in school still.
Oh.
No, that was a long time ago.
Wow, that might have been before.
But
November.
you're still special. Oh, long setup.
That was a really long setup and not very nice either.
That was totally worthwhile. So guys, welcome to the Linus Tech Tips live stream. We're going to get pretty much right into it with a Twitter Q&A blitz. So get your Twitter Q&A in right now while we just give you some special messaging from Intel. So guys, if you haven't checked it out, intelgamingpromo.com is where you can check out their gaming promo right now. So it's a PAX Prime promo. If you buy a Haswell CPU, if you know anyone who bought a Haswell CPU, if you're going to buy a Haswell CPU, so any 4th generation processor, guys, go sign up for this promo because you have a chance to win the ultimate trip to PAX Prime, which basically amounts to tickets and spending money, and there's a bunch of T's and C's on their website. But yeah, if you know anyone who bought one and they're willing to give you a copy of their receipt and they don't care about going to PAX Prime, go. Do it now. Do it now.
Seriously, because PAX Prime tickets are actually really expensive right now.
And really, really hard to get,
And
unless,
really hard
like...
to get. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that stuff. So, PAX Prime, not paying for it. EA. Oh, wow. That's early this time, isn't it?
There was no, like, actual reason to even do it. Just bam.
Well, I don't think we actually have any EA news this week.
No, that's what I mean.
So we're just taking a shot at them. We also have some really exciting news about the after party this week. So we didn't manage to 96 Super Mario World, but I think we kind of give up.
It's some ghost house somewhere, and we can't tell because the color on the pad doesn't change.
Or something, and just...
But we basically...
We basically give up, so we're not going to bother doing that. But what we are going to do this live stream is we are going to experiment with our system for having live callers call in. So we're hoping to get that launched with a special partner next week so we can do live calling in, which I think is going to be just really cool. We're basically going to be caught up to radio at that point in terms of technology.
Almost.
EA! Fist bump. Every fist bump for something failed, we should be like, EA! Sponsor us, EA, if you're watching. We'll stop ripping on you quite so hard.
Yeah.
Because we're still gonna rip on you. All right, let's go to the Twitter boards here, which is what they call the phone boards when you're on a radio show, which is what we'll be.
So we're directly comparing ourselves to radio now?
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
we're basically like radio, but with video. And I think the thing's a little... Yeah, if we didn't have video, then we wouldn't have these technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We should just do a radio show.
People have been asking for it to be converted into podcast for a while.
Radio
Last
can't be
live
that
stream,
hard.
there was a request for it to be podcasted that was the top comment
Yeah,
on
we
the
probably
archive.
should. Okay, I'm putting you in charge of that.
Okay.
Oh, that was easy. Look at this delegation.
I love podcasts.
Okay.
I like seriously heart podcasts, so I have no problem with doing that.
Okay.
And
all
I
right.
know like they don't get the craziest amount of listeners, but I love podcasts.
All right, guys. What technology on computers do you think is behind the rest? Display's not good enough, SATA not fast enough, etc. You want to take this one?
SATA, in my opinion. What's your
Really?
opinion? Yeah.
Because I don't think it's SATA at all. I think that what's actually too slow, if we're going to talk storage alone, is NAND flash. Because right now, an SSD can max out a SATA bus, but not when it's doing anything random.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
I
not
agree.
even close.
Yeah.
The drives are not the controllers aren't fast enough. The NAND isn't fast enough. NAND is still like storage was so far behind, and then SSD was like, I mean, you look at how many orders of magnitude faster a current CPU is compared to something 10 years ago. and like how much fast, even with SSD and SATA 3, how fast storage is.
But
it's not even close.
My angle on this is, you're completely right. My angle on this, though, is that the drive manufacturers are not super incentivized to push harder, because when people are looking at benchmarks, they see it get capped out. And then they're like, oh.
So it's a difficult message.
Yes.
And it's hard to sell.
Yes.
So why bother?
So why bother? So if the cap on SATA gets removed, I think there will be more incentive for the drive manufacturers to push harder.
Well, the one that I still feel more strongly about than storage, because as you know, I'm a storage dork. Like, you've seen the setup I have in my system, 8 SSDs.
That's awesome.
Which is, by the way, fast enough now. Just saying. I'm still going to go with displays. Because I see no reason, like, to me, the thing that's most offensive about displays is that we have the technology for them to be there. It's stupid standards like HDMI holding back everything. And for people who are like, oh, HDMI is whatever, no, HDMI is not anything good. HDMI is inferior in every way other than size.
I don't use it for anything.
Other than size, it is inferior in every way to DVI. DVI can carry a digital and an analog signal, super handy when you have to output to something analog. DVI can carry twice the bandwidth of HDMI. DVI has a locking connector. DVI is much more difficult to break. It can handle more insertions. HDMI sucks. There, I said it. And DisplayPort cannot come soon enough in terms of completely replacing HDMI, but I still like the fact that DVI can carry an analog signal. And if DVI got the same kind of TLC that HDMI gets, if it was getting the double bandwidth that HDMI is getting, that finally gets it caught up to DVI. Finally. If DVI was getting that, we'd be able to do 4K 60 Hertz, nothing compressed, no nothing with DVI, no problem. So, yeah, DVI for the win. DVI forever. Like, respect to DVI.
We can't do a fail fist bump.
No, we can't, because DVI is amazing.
Yep.
So display interfaces are one of the things holding it back, but that's still not an excuse, because we have DisplayPort. It is capable of it. If they can build a 1080p screen this big, then they can build a 4K screen that's 4 times this big, and I don't care what the yields are, because you look at the BOM cost for these phones. That includes processor, NAND, RAM, screen, touchscreen interface, chassis, everything. If you're going to tell me you can't build a 4K monitor that's like 24-inch for less than, $500, $600, BS. So displays are way behind, and it's offensive because we have the tech. We're just refusing to use it because we're putting everything into phones. Okay, next one. Sorry, that ended up going pretty long. Okay, shout out to Dylan, shout out to Stefano, who are both watching for the first time. Did you sign any kind of a contract with Noctua? No, actually, I didn't. Apparently the image is quite bad, I think it is a bit blurry, because I think we were sitting forward when we focused. I can try and fix it. Do you want me to try and fix it?
Sure.
Okay. Sit where you're going to sit. How's that?
No, that's way worse.
I'm just kidding. Okay. How's that? Is that sharp? I think that's better.
Maybe.
Let's rock with that. Okay. No, we didn't sign anything with Noctua. I think it's going to be a long-term thing. Condone of taking my dad's 780 from the build I built him with a 660 with my 660 Ti. He's a noob and doesn't game. The wrong thing you did was not necessarily swapping out a non-gamer's graphics card, but making a non-gamer buy a $700 graphics card in the first place. That wasn't cool, man.
Unless your plan all along was to do the swap.
No, that makes it worse.
Because
that's terrible.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that to your dad.
No.
I hope your dad's watching.
I would get my dad to get a 780.
But your dad games.
But my dad games, and my dad does Boink.
Yes.
And my dad would use the
it's
heck
not
out
the
of
same
that.
thing at all.
That card would be at like 89% all the time. Well, I got my mom a 660 Ti as well.
Okay, well that's...
But she used it because she played Skyrim.
Okay.
She wanted that computer to play Skyrim.
Okay. No, there is no major FPS and performance difference between those two things. Go. Do you think NVIDIA is limiting sales of SHIELD by making it exclusive to GTX cards rather than including AMD?
They're trying to buff their product line.
Yeah, they're making an ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to make it so that you are an NVIDIA customer. So all the things that you have that could be from NVIDIA is from NVIDIA.
That, and remember that the way SHIELD works is via a proprietary NVIDIA technology. Like, it's the same kind of technology as we're going to see in NVIDIA's grid, where it's like centralizing the processing power of the GPU and then streaming it elsewhere. It's like virtualizing GPUs. This is a proprietary... I'm willing to bet there's hardware in there for this. Like, I don't think this is as simple as WiDi. That's not what we're doing.
And technically they could open it up, but that would probably be a silly move.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Why should they? I think Shield's cool. We didn't talk about this last week. Shield dropped to $299.
That's really cool.
That's actually awesome. And
because
people...
that brings it.
Go ahead.
That brings it into a way bigger price point. Because the second you get under $300, or like at $300,
like if you spend half your paycheck and you save half your paycheck, you can afford a Shield with a paycheck. Is where I think it gets down to. Like
that gets to the affordable range?
Yeah, like that to me is what the $300, like the $300 thing is like I could wait a paycheck or two and I could save up for it.
A paycheck or two, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you have to start waiting a month for something,
then it becomes tough.
it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Honestly, and I honestly didn't really see the complaints about $349 in terms of the competition that's out there, because when you look at the spec and you look at the competing devices, I mean, how much do you pay for a phone? What's it got on a Shield?
Still though,
A wireless antenna?
Still though, logically, the difference between $299 and $349 is not that much.
Right.
But
perception-wise,
perception is huge once you get under that exactly $300 mark.
If cable TV, DVDs, and Blu-rays all broadcast at 60 Hz, is there a real advantage to a 120 Hz TV? If you game with a PC on your TV, then perhaps. And if you want to do the whole 3D thing, then yes. And if you want to do that screen sharing thing where you can play dual-player games, each wearing 3D glasses and seeing a different full-screen image, then it's really cool as well. Other than that, no.
That is a few different things, though.
Here's a question. Do you know the answer to this? Why would someone want to be able to digitally switch their power supply between one 12-volt rail and two plus 12-volt rails?
Isn't it once you get to insanely high voltages, it's better to be on multiple rails?
Once you're drawing a lot of current,
yeah,
it can be safer to have multiple rails.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you're able to switch between them, then the reality of it is your power supply has multiple rails.
Yeah.
And they're just being, like, combined.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about it too much. These days, the whole multi-rail single... That was only relevant for, like, 6 months.
Yeah, and it was a while ago.
That was back when an OCZ power stream was a big deal.
Yeah, this was quite a while ago.
You're making me feel old. It wasn't that long ago. Okay, it was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
What's a good power supply
experienced it
for
too.
two-way SLI GTX 780? What would you buy?
Two-way SLI GTX 780? Brand aside, depends on your chip. Remember,
Go with the brand. What power supply would you buy?
Lower.
Not when overclocked either.
Hmm?
Not when overclocked, though.
True. Oh, what power supply would I buy?
Why don't I go with another answer while you think about that? What's a cheap Ultrabook to get that's below $700 that is good? The words good and cheap and notebook rarely go together. So you get whatever Ultrabook is the quality you want, and then you pay however much that costs. Anything other than an Asus ZenBook, I think that's sort of where they start in terms of where I'd call it like a really good quality Ultrabook. However, the Acer Aspire S3, the new one, looks outstanding. Whatever you do, though, if you're going to buy an Ultrabook today, get a Haswell-based one, because particularly on notebook, Haswell's a big deal.
It's actually awesome.
Lots more graphics performance and much better power consumption.
Power consumption there is huge for me. Okay, power supply. Probably a 760i, because if you're spending that much...
760? Okay.
Because I'm sure you could make it in that power range.
Yeah, oh yeah, it'll be fine.
And if you're spending that much on graphics cards, you're probably spending that much on all the other parts in your system. So I'm not too worried about fitting a 760i into your budget, and you can buy a sleeving kit, and those sleeving kits are sweet.
That's true. Okay.
And then you don't have to spend all that time sleeving your power supply, and that goes directly to the power supply for a sleeving kit. Because some sleeving kits are just extensions. These ones go all the way to your power supply, so it'll look awesome. And if you're spending that much on a computer, you probably want it to look awesome. So, I don't know. But there's a whole bunch of other power supplies that I do like pretty much equally as much.
Is Gigabyte the way to go for Haswell motherboards? We actually haven't used any of these yet. These just arrived.
They're not even open.
They're not even open. Will a 450 watt SFX power supply power a Haswell K series and a 780? Ooh.
Are you overclocking?
Are you? Yeah. If you're not planning to overclock, you're going to be really borderline.
Yeah, you'll be on the line. If you are overclocking, I wouldn't do it.
Put one SSD in there. Maybe. Maybe don't have an SSD. Well, you'll need a storage device. But yeah, like I wouldn't plug too many like peripherals into the USB ports.
No.
I wouldn't do that, actually. I don't know, maybe we should try it.
Well, if he's buying...
Non-overclocked, maybe.
Yeah, but power supplies are so cheap.
But it's SFX. He wants an SFX power supply, so I think 450 at the max is that Silverstone one.
I think Silverstone is a 550 watt.
Do they have a 550?
Or no, it was
No, I think
Enermax.
it's 450 gold. Enermax has a 550?
I think so.
Okay, we'll see if you can
There
find
was
a bigger
something
one.
interesting at their booth that was the highest wattage. I don't remember what it was, though, so it might not be that specific form factor.
Best wireless hard drive? Good question. Voyager Air has good battery life. Wireless Plus has a really, really stable app. And the Patriot Aero has good integration with third-party players. I mean, none of them are bad, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
From our experience with them. None of them just, like, flake out. So...
By the way, just remembered it was a fanless. It wasn't...
Oh, okay.
yeah, it
wasn't
was
SFX.
something different.
Okay, I'm glad you made it too, Josh.
Yeah.
Maximus 6 formula, estimated price and release. Well, the price will probably... Look at a Maximus 5 formula, probably around there. And then thoughts? I think the formula board out of all the ROG boards is the one that makes the most sense because it has that really high-end audio solution on it.
Which is nice.
That makes me feel really good about buying the board because I'm not just getting like, whoa, more USB 3 ports. I'm getting something that's really tangible and actually costs money to put on the board. Like engineering that audio solution took time and money, and building every single one of them is expensive. Are you guys getting JJ as a guest? We don't have him scheduled by any stretch of the imagination, but he's certainly welcome to join us. We've talked about this a fair bit in the past, guys, so we're going to leave that one for now. What do you think about studio-grade speakers? Do you think it is good for anyone's setup? I'll let you take this one.
Depends if you're an audiophile or not. I have... What are they called again? Those Corsair speakers?
SP2500s.
SP2500s. They're awesome. They were realistically pretty cheap because I got them recertified at NCX, so it was an awesome deal.
That was a good deal.
That was a freaking sweet
I bought one
deal.
too.
Yeah, and he already had a set.
Well, I need another one for my wife. Don't worry about it.
They're awesome speakers, but personally, I do appreciate my audio equipment, but I care about headphones more. Speakers, I got those because there's a great deal, and I like it that they're loud. I can hear them in a room beside me, and they sound really good. But I'm not going for studio-grade speakers.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, honestly, they're probably good.
yeah,
I think that's
I'm
the
sure
short
they're
answer.
great. Yeah.
How is Topper compared to Cherry? Also, what's your favorite keyboard? Go.
They're really, really, really different. Topper is...
I don't like them.
Yeah, they're really different. They're really premium, high quality, very consistent feeling switches, but they're not really Cherries, and you can't really compare them directly to any Switch. People ask me to do this all the time.
No, they feel nothing like Cherries
Yeah,
at all.
no,
Like at all.
not even close. My favorite keyboard, depending on what variation of all the prototypes that they release, probably a Year of the Snake, because they're talking about releasing in aluminum now. What, blue switches, and I think you're what, brown?
Me, I prefer brown switches,
Brown
but my
switches.
favorite keyboard is actually the Zybel 60, which has black switches. So I broke my own rule. Someone says the stream is laggy, but that looks like the only one. He looks like the only one complaining about it. So I don't know what to say. Is 170 Canadian a steal for a second-hand Dell 1920 by 1200 monitor? Yeah, maybe. Depends what kind of condition it's in. If it's like a 2405 FPW like I have, it's starting to fade. The backlight's not very even anymore.
And like, make sure you see it. Make sure there's no dead pixels or anything going on.
Any thoughts on the Monoprice $58 Blue Switch Mech keyboard? Monoprice is known for high quality and low price. I've heard it's made kind of like it's a low-end blue keyboard, but
It's also a blue keyboard, $58.
got MX Blues for $58. What do you want me to...
Yeah,
What do
I
you want me
haven't
to
seen
say?
it, but
Maybe get some posters for the wall? Yeah, we had that last week. We have posters. We have on order. Did you place the order?
I haven't actually put it in yet.
Okay, we're ordering a bunch of cool swag for the office from ThinkGeek, so that's going to be cool. My computer won't post. I sent the mobile for RMA and received the same one repaired, still have the same issue. Could be something else. Could be RAM, could be power supply.
If you can swap it, if you have other kids of RAM
Yeah.
or friends with it, try and swap out your RAM. It's always a
Okay,
big thing.
so let's get into our first topic, because I think we've done a pretty good Twitter Q&A blitz there. So here we go. Let me just make sure I have this. I think that I have this set up right, so we should be able to... Yes, I do. And I think, oh, that marks on my monitor. Oh, and I just did the thing. It's an arrow shake, and everything went away. All right, so Sony and Disney will begin streaming movies that are still in theaters in a bold move against piracy. So let's just give you the quick summary. So this is on The Verge. In a bid to limit movie piracy in Asia, so this is not happening in North America. In the US, theaters will still be getting their 90-day exclusive period. Sony and Disney have begun testing a bold new on-demand service in South Korea, which offers movies to rent while they are still playing in theaters. So they've done this before. This isn't the first time, and there's been a lot of pushback from the theaters. They rely very heavily on that exclusive period because, quite frankly, I don't know about you, but if I had the choice whether to pay $12 for watching the movie at the theater, actually, I mean, you can get as cheap as like $9, but it's
Cheap
not
as
cheap.
$9, but then that's also per person.
Yep. So if I could pay $12 to go watch it in the theater, or if I could sit at home and watch it on my 52-inch TV with my surround sound setup that, like, quite frankly, is pretty good. Why am I going to a theater? Why don't I make my own popcorn for 39 cents?
Certain movies I think I would still go see. Because certain movies...
Batman.
Batman. Big action movies.
Like superhero movies? Like
Superhero movies, big action movies,
I'm
that
stoked
kind of
for
stuff.
Avengers 2. I can't believe they got Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, yes! For 2 more! Anyway, go ahead.
Stoked. Robert Downey Jr. is one of my favorite actors.
He's
so that's pretty
awesome!
cool. He's so
like,
good.
Who can be Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes?
I know! It's so awesome. Anyways,
Mind you, he does them kind of the same.
doesn't matter.
I know, it doesn't matter.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, there's the theater experience with big action movies, stuff like that,
Okay.
where you want the like insane. Yes, you have pretty good surround sound, but when you want the insane room shaking surround sound and the big freaking screen and all that kind of stuff, like that's cool and will still pull people to theaters a little bit. But certain genres, I think, will get really hurt by that.
Right, okay. And I mean, it's like, I think for big blockbuster movies, this is going to be less of a thing, but one of the examples of when they tightened the window from 17 weeks to 12 weeks on Alice in Wonderland in the UK, Ireland, and Italy, Alice in Wonderland was nearly not screened by theaters. They were just like, nope, forget it. I mean, it wasn't a good movie, for one thing.
Okay,
So I
didn't see it.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was just like Johnny Depp in makeup, which quite frankly is awesome. So that's how bad the rest of the movie had to be. So
I was gonna say, like, why is that bad?
I know he's so hot.
Oh dear.
This one's your topic. So next one up is from Reuters. Microsoft to bring Xbox and PC games to Apple and Android phones.
I didn't read into this too specifically, but there was, basically exactly what he already said. I think this is an interesting move. They've done stuff like this before, where they support certain things, but like they say right there, Microsoft's Age of Empires will be available free
So
to play
an old game.
Yeah.
But free to play.
They're not releasing any of their like insane stuff, but they're just opening the platforms a little bit.
Is that okay, couple things. Number one, is that an acknowledgement that Windows Phone 8 is done? Or is it an acknowledgement that they don't care because they're getting their licensing fees on Android devices at this point?
Yeah, and at the same time, like huge licensing fees. And at the same time, they're, what is it? They're getting an HTC One Windows Phone 8 version?
Yeah.
So I don't really think so, because they're still pushing.
Right.
So I think this is just them going, okay, this isn't like our biggest title.
Let's just see what happens.
Let's just see what happens. Let's open the floodgates. Because I don't think people are going to like switch a platform so they can play Age of Empires.
No.
Or maybe there's a few, but like there isn't going to be a huge wave of people.
And if you would choose your smartphone based on which one can play Age of Empires, then like...
Power to you.
Power to you.
But,
that's not an EA fist bump because
no.
you're hardcore.
Yes.
And it's not an EA game because it's good.
But I don't think it's going to... That is not going to be the tipping point for that many people buying phones. So I don't think they think it really matters that much.
You know, it's funny. It almost seems at this point like Microsoft is giving more cares to like Apple platforms and Google platforms than to their own Windows platform. Like it has been a serious thorn in my side to this day that Halo doesn't get the same support on PC that it does on Xbox. It's like, I'm sorry, Microsoft. What made you big exactly? Was it Xbox?
That's so annoying because Xbox One, Halo 1 on PC was awesome.
And we got it like way later.
Yeah.
We didn't get co-op.
Nope. Like, I still ended up playing Halo 1 on my what do you even call it? Original Xbox.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because
Xbox One.
Because it came out so much earlier. I didn't even hear about the PC release. How I figured out about the PC release was I saw it, like, one of my friends had it. And I was like, what? Why was there not tons of news around this?
I don't know. I mean, my whole thing is like one-man boycotting. If I don't like something, I won't buy it. So I wouldn't touch Halo for Xbox because it was so offensive to me that it was not available for PC. Second it came out for PC, I bought it. Second Halo 2 came out for PC, I bought it. I'm not going to buy it for Xbox. I'm not going to do it. Same thing, my local cable provider. The reason I don't have a cable TV subscription is that they don't support cable card, and I think it's BS that the Canadian telcos will not support cable card. Well, okay, telecommunications, not really, well, they're kind of all telcos at this point.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the content providers up here will not support cable card. Every time they call me like once every 2 months, at least. Hey, we noticed you have internet with us. Do you want cable TV? No. Please put a note on my file. Don't call me again until you have cable card, because I refuse to pay for things where they're going to have anti-consumer policies that just limit the way I can use my devices and are offensive to me as a customer. So there. Boom.
When I was on my student plan with Shaw, they called me to be like, hey, do you want, like, cable service? And I was like, can you give me a free TV? They were like, what? I was like, I don't own a TV. If you want me to get cable service, I need a TV.
I guess
I was like,
Did they stop calling you?
Yep.
You should have been like, well, TELUS gives you a free computer with your internet sign up, so, like...
So you guys should give me a free TV. Makes sense to me. If I want to use your service, I have to have a device to use your service on. I was just trying to get a free TV. I was just going to cancel the plan right after. It was a student plan, so it didn't cost anything really.
You're just
anyways.
a terrible person, aren't you? That's terrible. All right.
I would have it for the minimum amount of time.
No, we're not talking about this anymore. Next one is an article from The Guardian, which I'm having a little bit of trouble with my touchscreen here. I want this to grow. Grow! Really? Okay, fine, whatever. Blackberry shares fall sharply after smartphone maker posts shock loss. Traders slash 1.2 billion from the company's valuation. Did they have 1.2 billion left in their valuation?
I think they still have $3.1 billion of cushion.
Okay. After revealing a $169 million loss following poor sales of the new Z10 and Q10 phones. Here's what I want to know. Was this loss shocking?
That's what I found so confusing, was because they estimated 3 million units sold. And I was like, why did you estimate 3 million units sold? I think it's 3 million units sold. I don't remember exactly what it is.
This is the problem with forecasting. Like, when I started Linus Media Group, my uncle's like, well, do you have a business plan and a forecast? I'm like, no. I know approximately how much revenue we can make if we do all these things right, and I know our viewers are going to support us, and I know all these things, and we're going to kind of go for it, and it's going to be an adventure.
I don't know how much of this I'm really supposed to go into, but when we were at Omni, you were like, so what are all your numbers? And he had a few and stuff, but he's like, yeah, but I'm Kickstartering it, so...
We're going to see what happens.
These are all my papers. Like, it doesn't matter.
And the guy comes from a financial background.
Yeah.
Like...
So he understands.
He understands what a forecast is, which should give you some idea why he thought it was just pointless to have one. like he had some idea. You kind of put feelers out there, and you're like, okay, well, you know, are people gonna support me?
And this is how well semi-similar products. There's nothing that similar to his, but like semi-similar VR stuff.
Well, he was looking at pre-orders for Rift, and he was kind of going, okay, well, if
I get this percentage,
if this number of people who want a Rift also want an Omni, then. Okay.
And it kind of works out, yeah. So
he
was thinking about it, but like...
But at the end of the day, like, it's like, oh, you know, analysts need to see, a forecast. And when you're Intel and your business is predominantly run rate, like, Intel CPUs, they could manufacture them a year out, and they'd have a pretty good idea of how many they're going to need, because it's just once the numbers get big enough... There's some variation, but there's a flow to it. Yeah. It evens out. Yeah. I remember showing you this when I was still working at NCIX, and I'm like, yeah, I can predict how many CPUs are going to sell to within like 10, plus or minus 10 on a given week, and you're like, no. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, if I drop the price this much, it'll be this many plus or minus 10. Boom. There's a long weekend, so it's going to be this many plus or minus 10. It just... I don't get it. Like, your logic, and I bet the logic of many of you out there, is if there's like a product launch, then everyone buys it, and then like sales go like this, and then they like go like this for the rest of the product. Not at all.
Apparently not.
8800 GTX had a boost, and it sold like this, and it was flat. It sold exactly the same throughout pretty much its entire lifetime, sometimes growing for seasonality. And that card was current for over a year.
Yeah, that card is freaking awesome, by the way.
Over a year, it was just solid. And it's like, why? And the answer is, look at the Steam hardware survey. The number of people who actually upgrade every generation is like super small. If NVIDIA didn't release a graphics card for 3 years, there'd still be plenty of people to buy graphics cards. Lots of people to buy graphics cards. The fact that they move so fast is kind of baffling to me. They don't have to. AMD and NVIDIA are just keeping each other in check.
Yeah.
It's like...
They're trying to make sure that when you do go to the store, that they have the fastest one,
Yes.
even though they don't really need to have the fastest one.
They don't really need to.
But I appreciate that they have the fastest one, or that they're trying.
So anyway, so BlackBerry, I mean, you know what? Maybe this is a good opportunity to talk about your experience with the Z10. You spent over a month with it.
Yep, I will talk about that. One quick second, I want to jump back to the article.
Sure.
A new big guy that's a part of BlackBerry stuff has been talking and saying, okay, guys, like...
Thorsten Heinz?
I think that's it. Yeah, I don't remember his name. I'm bad with
Some
names.
dude. He's probably...
Some dude from BlackBerry that's really, really high up. Basically, he's going like, okay, give us a little bit. Because, like, honestly, they didn't do that bad if you have realistic expectations of what they're supposed to do.
I mean, the R&D involved in 2 new flagship smartphones alone is, like, not trivial.
And they have to hit a market that they weren't hitting for a while.
Yep.
And, like, they're trying to get into new markets, and they're trying to do all this new stuff. Like, there needs to be some growing time. Like, people were like, okay, you're releasing a new smartphone? Oh, you're not doing that well. Kill you.
Well, it's because everyone's used to Apple and Samsung results.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, HTC, I think, has demonstrated that someone who's basically down for the count can have a blockbuster smartphone.
Yes, and maybe BlackBerry should have done an Android OS release, but they didn't.
What if they... Ooh, that would have been a terrible message, though.
Yes and no. What if they did a BlackBerry version of Android OS? They could have their switching between business and normal mode.
Would you buy a Z10 if it was an Android phone?
I like buttons, no.
Okay, if it had buttons.
I don't like the screen.
How do you differentiate an Android phone?
I don't like the screen.
Other than spend a bloody fortune on something that's basically unmanufacturable by almost anyone else.
The back of the Z10 was very nice.
Yeah.
Like, most of the things about it was nice. I didn't like
Slick likes the back.
I didn't like the screen.
Bacon.
Because it was, like, impossible
Hams.
to clean. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, right. It didn't have a very good,
It's
like, grease-resistant.
It was weird.
Right.
I've never had a touchscreen like that before in my entire life.
And, I mean, what was your take of... okay, having tried to switch to BlackBerry, could you possibly have switched from Android to BlackBerry knowing everything you know now?
Personally, I would not want to.
Yeah.
Like I say, is the conclusion video out yet?
It went out last night.
Okay.
I
Like
forgot
say
the
in
annotations again. Yay.
God, so many comments on the previous one are like, you're doing this and there's nothing to click on. Oh. Anyways, I would not do it personally. I would suggest that certain people do it. Specifically, one of my friend's dads, who's very into business and has to keep up on things like emails and text messages and all that kind of stuff very quickly. It's good for that because he doesn't actually want to spend that much time on his phone.
Doesn't play games.
Doesn't do all that kind of stuff, but needs to be able to answer emails and everything quickly and then put his phone back away.
But Android is so customizable.
That you can probably come up with some solution that's still really good, but that's built in and ready to go immediately.
That's true. You don't have to fight with it, I think if there's any...
I'll get it. Or
no, it's okay. I can get it because I think you're the next one as well. White House petition something.
Sure.
So cover that one. But I think the thing with BlackBerry is that it's ready, done, and not everyone's a phone door.
Right.
Oh, my notebook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need that. Scene 3 shows from the screen.
Oh, okay. Whoop. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so basically, for the right user, the person that doesn't want to sit down and constantly be customizing their phone, awesome. For the right user, someone who wants to be able to do their social media and interactions very, very quickly. I just said very, very. Oh, man. For someone who wants to do it extremely quickly, it's great. But for me, I want to do more with my phone, and it tries to be an Android phone with its side-loading apps, which is cool if you're someone who already has one or bought it for a specific reason but then wants additional functionality. But for me, I would just want to buy an Android phone because it just makes more sense to me. So, moving on, I'm going to try and figure out how I'm supposed to do this on Linus's laptop. Give me one quick second. Oh! That's the exact one we were just looking at. Okay, I'm going to have troubles getting to it, but I can start talking about it before I get to it. Basically, different states are not allowing car manufacturers to sell directly to individual personal clients. So they want you to go to, like, they want you to, I don't know what they're called. Car park? They're not called a car park. Wow. I don't know what they're called. Anyways, where they sell cars, they want you to go there and buy it in person instead of getting it directly from the manufacturer. So Tesla only does their business that way. So because there's certain states not allowing it anymore, someone has created I think his name is Tim, and he's not allowing his last name to be put out, but someone has made a petition to the White House to make them stop this from happening because it will essentially kill Tesla's business. It is not a person from Tesla. It is someone who has investment in Tesla and plans on buying a Tesla. He's a fan of Tesla, but he's not actually an employee of Tesla Motors. Come on. I just gotta try and open this up. So right now the petition has 36,500 signatures. It needs 100,000 signatures. In the article it says that they had about like 10K or something, but since then it's gone up quite a bit. I just gotta try and get the guy's name. Here we go. Article finally open. 3. What is this? Oh, we got something.
Hey.
It's not opening when I press 3.
It's not opening? Oh, that's because that's the...
Oh, I have to press it here.
You need scene 3.
You have to click on it? Okay.
Sorry about that. We got
like
our Vengeance Pro memory.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
I basically finished the article. I just wanted to show people it once I finally got it on screen.
Oh, that's from CNET.
Why can't I scroll? There we go.
Here, let me get this. There. Whoa, that got. Oh, micro HDMI. Do hate. It got caught on something there. And,
yeah.
Oh, it's borked now.
Oh no.
Oh, micro HDMI. Let's try that. Wouldn't it be funny if that connector just hardcore broke?
Oof.
There we go.
Oh, it sucks.
Hate micro USB. Hate micro HDMI. Vengeance Pro 2x8 gig. There we go. Whee!
That's cool. Are we doing a video about it?
Yeah, we're gonna do a video about it. It's basically it's just got more overclocking head minute
Compared to normal Vengeance?
Yeah, just compared to.
Does it have any lighting or anything?
No,
Okay.
it's just clean looking, overclocker friendly, simple memory, black PCB. This one right here is an 1866 C9 kit, 16 gigs.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Should we do a Twitter Q&A blitz?
Sure.
People seem to like so guys, send in your Twitter questions, and we are going to do one more article in the meantime. So you came up with this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and field it because it's an easy one.
Sure.
So there's a teen from Vancouver Island, which happens to be very close to Vancouver, not an island, which is where we live.
Specifically from Victoria on Vancouver Island.
From Victoria, which happens to be the capital of BC, although it shouldn't be, because it's on an island, which is stupid. So this is Anne Makazinski. Anne Makazinski. I hope I said that right. She has some kind of an accent that would indicate that that's an appropriate last name for her, and she has done something pretty cool. So this is a flashlight. It has 3 LEDs. There's actually a video on the article. This is on Times Columnist. And so 3 LED flashlight that is powered using only the heat given off by your hand when you hold it. So she demos it at the very end of the video. Just skip to the end because the whole beginning of it. So she's one of the 15 finalists.
Of a list of 90 regional finalists from around all over the world for Google Science Fair.
Yeah, so for Google's Global Science Fair, and I just think it's really cool that she's local, and she explains how she had to do a lot of analysis and testing for how much heat per square centimeter your heat gives off, and then how much heat you can use. It sounds like she's basically using the Peltier effect, right?
To a certain, I didn't listen too closely, but it did sound like it, yeah.
So heating one side, cooling another side using ambient air, and then generating an electric current by doing that. So she was able to determine that, yes, you could build a flashlight, and she built the flashlight, and all she does is hold it, and the LEDs go on. It's not super bright or anything, but
in some type of disaster kit or a bug out kit or something like that where your batteries might run out and you might be left dry, this is awesome, because if you're using your cell phone for a flashlight, if you're using a normal flashlight, they both have potential to run out of batteries and die.
Oh, and I think probably the most notable part of all of this is the fact that she's 15.
Yeah.
So she's already 100 times smarter than I'll ever be, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good work.
We need people like that.
Good work, Anne.
Yay. Flashlights.
Real fist bump. Not EA. Okay. Twitter Q&A. Boom. Have you tried out Windows 8.1 preview? No. I heard the start menu still isn't great.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, my issues with Windows 8 run a little deeper than just that anyway, so yeah. If I had a sound card and headset and SP2500s, would you get better sound by plugging directly to the sound card, or can you use the SP2500 in? Good question. If you have a sound card with a headphone amp, plug into it directly. If you don't, then it probably doesn't matter, and the SP2500's amp can help you. Sounds about right?
That's what I do. I switch on the card instead of on the... It would be nice if I could, but I don't want to.
If you balled a little bit harder, you could have an awesome sound card and an external headphone amp.
Yeah, but...
And I barely use my computer. That's the saddest part.
It's so nice, though, that... Oh,
I love the Essence one. Just even plugging, like, my in-ear pros into it. They do sound better. They do sound better. It's just,
We're talking about Zoner Essence 1.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I love it.
It's totally awesome.
Would you recommend a Razer Kraken Pro or a SteelSeries Siberia V2 as far as build quality and sound quality goes? Neither of those are really at the top of my list. As far as sound quality goes, neither of them are poorly built, though. If I was looking for just kind of like your run-of-the-mill kind of gaming headset, Siberia V2 definitely gets a thumbs up. Super lightweight, very comfortable, and it has a good mic. Those, to me, are the gaming requirements.
If you're someone who spends a huge amount of time on voice chat, people will appreciate a good mic. And I don't have any personal experience with the Kraken Pro.
Me neither.
But I have quite a few friends that have Siberia V2s because they're pretty cost effective. And the mics on them will not give that super annoying snow effect to the entire chat room the whole time you're in it.
Generally speaking, if you buy a SteelSeries headset, you're getting a good mic.
Yeah.
I've never encountered one of theirs that doesn't.
Yeah.
Have you seen the AT&T Q? I have not yet. Sorry. That's a duplicate. Guys, please avoid sending messages multiple times. If we see that, we're not going to answer your message. This is on here like 4 times. Hey from the UK. Hi, UK.
Hello.
430 watt power supply, enough for this config? Yeah, should be fine. But I don't know of too many 430 watt power supplies that aren't total like bollocks. So if it's a good one, then great. And
there we go.
Thank you.
That guy.
I think that's actually spelled wrong, but that's okay.
That guy.
Yo guys, watching the live stream from the UK. Hello.
Hi.
Hi to the UK again. Should we really say hi to the same country twice?
Yeah.
If they're really cool?
Yeah.
The UK is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have 4,000 live viewers? That
Sweet.
can't be right. You guys rock! It must be all... No, it's not on there. It's on here.
You guys used to be on there. That's cool, though.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
That's really
Apparently,
cool.
It's like... That's why 2 people from the UK are talking to us.
Yeah.
Is it normal for my 690 to not hit 100% usage on both GPUs? You want to handle this one?
I do not SLI very much,
but 100%
yes.
normal.
Yeah.
100% normal, because SLI is only in very rare circumstances, such as synthetic benchmarks, going to be able to fully utilize both GPUs. That is totally normal. Don't worry about it.
Look at the cores on your CPU, too.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Sing me happy birthday. We can't, actually.
It's
like a trademark copyright thing. If we do that...
I don't even think it's that cheap.
No, it's not. It's really expensive. You're not allowed... Actually, go look it up. You're not allowed to sing happy birthday. That's why you've probably never heard it on TV or in a movie.
If you do hear it in movies, it's like...
They change it.
It's usually a big thing, or they change it.
Like Futurama, it's like, what day is today? It's Leela's birthday.
Yeah.
It's something, 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 so let's all have some cake. Like, you can't sing it. That's why nobody does it.
Yeah.
Will you be upgrading your rig anytime soon? No. No, I have a 590 and a 3970X. I got 8 SSDs in RAID 0. I got...
Not a lot of lacking there.
Dual rad, quad rad. I have a Zoner Zonar. Wow, I don't even remember what it's called anymore. Zonar Zents, that's the one.
Oh, that I didn't know
weird
whether
one.
you were talking about the DAC or the.
I have the Essence 1. Oh, yes. Yes, actually, I upgraded my rig today.
But I thought they weren't.
Well, they're not here yet, but...
Oh, I thought you weren't getting it.
Oh, no, I left the back order in. I'm going to just wait till there's another one. So today I treated myself to 2 PB278Qs. Oh, that's got to be my favorite monitor. Very low input lag, beautiful IPS panel, or PLS panel rather. Not calibrated out of the factory, but I have a calibrator.
A good one, too.
I have a good calibrator, so I'll be able to get pretty much pro performance out of it, not quite. And it's 27-inch. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's 16:9, and I really did think about going for PA246s.
Yeah.
Just because of the color depth. Oh. But anyway, I'm going dual monitor, which I've never done on my personal system. Never done that.
Dual monitor?
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's really nice.
Especially if you get, okay, I would highly recommend Display Fusion.
Okay.
That's that thing I was talking about. Where
We should do an episode about that.
We should, actually.
Okay.
It's on Steam now, too.
Is it?
It's on Steam software.
That's
so
cool.
any computer you go to, you can be like, bam, Display Fusion.
Okay, tell them about it. And don't point at that screen, because they can't see it.
I don't know enough about it. Like, if we're going to do a video about it, I'll research it more. But these are the things that I care about and the reasons why I got it. It can do a lot more than this, but this is specifically why I wanted it. When I went to Windows 8, my favorite thing was that it would bring Start Menu and Taskbar on both your monitors, and you could have independent backgrounds running on both your monitors.
That's cool.
Yeah. Display Fusion can do that. So
Because that was like the one reason you held out with Windows 8 for so long, wasn't it?
I had so many things like weren't working. I couldn't play certain games. I had so many problems, which ended up being a combination of things, but it was including Windows 8, whatever. So I went back to Windows 7 and bought Display Fusion. That was my thing. So Display Fusion is great. Whenever I go to use anyone else's computer that has dual monitors, I feel like I have a handicap now because I'm like, why can't I? Where's my start menu? It's so annoying. Display Fusion is amazing. We'll do a video about it.
Yeah, so that's cool. So someone asks, are SanDisk SSDs reliable? SanDisk is one of the few SSD manufacturers that actually owns fabs. So like all the other guys who own fabs, Micron, Samsung, they are keeping the best for themselves. I would say yes, SanDisk SSDs are a good way to go. You're awesome. Thank you, Isaac. You're awesome too. He probably means you're awesome too.
Yay.
Good job.
He said you're awesome too?
No, I don't know. Please make a video of the Gambius headphones. Gambius is going to send us stuff once it's ready. So, going to happen.
Cool.
Paint the wall green so you can make it a green screen and have fun with it. That would actually be kind of cool. XSplit supports it natively.
Remember the one time that we had my shirt?
That was weird. I don't know what caused that because I never changed the settings after
Yeah,
that
I don't
either.
know. I'm just saying, imagine that happened to the whole wall.
Love the show, says Salim. Thank you.
Yay.
Bought a new keyboard, CM Storm Quickfire Rapid with Cherry MX Black. Which switches do you prefer for gaming? Brown.
Blue.
Okay. Do you think unified memory is going to come to PCs by Broadwell? No.
No.
How much will it cost to water cool a CPU and GPU? Custom loop, probably a few $100.
Yeah.
A little more if you MCP 655, get a proper pump.
Yeah.
Proper pump.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yep.
And you can do, the problem is you can go to like any extent, so it depends what you're going to do with it.
You could go with a SwiftTAC H220. Add a
Yes.
GPU block, that's
Yep.
$240. Then you probably still need another RAD, which you could probably get for $60
Go
used.
for barb fittings, that'll be really cheap. CPU block will probably come with them.
Yeah, $300 using a SwiftTAC H20220. Get a GTX 760 or 7970. Between those two? I mean, those aren't even in the same price range, man.
No, that's crazy.
Okay, thoughts on Windows 8.1? I need transparency. I don't know if you're talking about Aeroglass, because I need Aeroglass too. It
Or
drives
is he
me
talking
crazy.
about reviewer transparency?
Well, I haven't tried 8.1, so I can't be transparent or opaque.
Yeah.
What do you think of Canadian service providers basically cheating the people with data? My provider's actually pretty good. They've never really boned me.
Does service providers, is he talking about ISP or phone?
Could be either. Neither of my... I use Shaw and I use Bell, and neither of them have ever really screwed me.
For ISP, we've gone way over our limit.
Yeah, I've done
multiple times, and Shaw's just like,
I'm sure we're doing it here already.
yeah.
So
They don't really seem to care. Shaw
Yeah.
at least doesn't seem to care, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it depends on your area. It's just how consumer friendly they are. And out here, it's for ISPs. It's basically Shaw and Telus. And TELUS is so good that they are bad that they'd make Shaw look good no matter what Shaw did, but Shaw seems to generally try to be pretty consumer friendly.
Which is nice.
Which is nice.
Phones, you get screwed, but everyone gets screwed everywhere with phones.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not specifically bad
It's
here.
like, how would you like to be screwed?
Yeah.
Is basically the conversation you get to have when you go into the store.
Yeah.
It's
Like, how exactly do you want to get screwed over today?
It's
Do you want to get
like
screwed over
you
this
can
way?
choose diameters and you can choose positions and you can choose whatever you want, but at the end of the day,
You're still getting screwed.
it's going to happen. Jack Ellis asks, 2 480s in SLI or 1 760? And what happened to your Model M? So I'll take the first half.
Sure.
I'd go 760. Way less heat output, way less power consumption, more modern solution. Single card is generally better than dual. Go.
Part of how we dried the camera when it got water damage was exhaust from a 480.
That is not part of. That is how we
Okay,
dried out the camera.
So, like, that should speak enough to that answer. The Model M is still, it's pretty much raring to go. The problem is the stabilizers on all the keys that need stabilizers are broken, all of them. So what I need to do is, in general, the keyboard's in very good shape. So I want to keep that one, and what I want to find is another Model M whose maybe the PCB's broken or the connector's broken or something that is disabling it from being able to work entirely, and I want to take the keys off of that and utilize the stabilizers on my current Model M, which would make it fully functional and in very good shape. So still in progress, but I
These
still
are
have
supposed
it.
to be like blitzes.
But this
I have a 7970 gigahertz edition. I'm planning to upgrade my CPU on this year's Black Friday. What CPU would you recommend gaming only? Mercia, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you know we'd need to know your current CPU. That's really important. So maybe
Form it.
post it on the Linus Tech Tips forum. In fact, everyone, go post something on the Linus Tech Tips forum now, because the Linus Tech Tips forum is awesome and everyone should be a member of it. Actually, I want to take a moment here and be super proud of our forum real quick. There was a conversation on the new legislation in the U.S. that was to do with homosexual marriage. And as we all know, this is an extremely touchy topic. It is very polarizing. People get super upset. There was a 4-page thread that had a back-and-forth exchange between some of our
Everyone was
members,
civil.
and it did not get out of hand.
There's-
I was so impressed.
the mod team, I love my mod team, they're all amazing, but we watch these kind of threads like hawks because we don't want them to go out of control. But I've seen a theme lately where we can let a lot of these style topics just kind of go.
I mean, on any other forum, that thread's a train wreck.
Yeah.
It's a train wreck, and everyone hates each other by the end of it. And generally speaking, our policy when we discussed it is we're not going to allow these controversial topics really to exist on our forum, because
we don't want it to become a hate fest.
Yes.
If you're having a civil discussion,
we want a respectful forum where people,
Yeah.
leave that out of it. Go argue about that somewhere else, but let's come here and let's all cooperate and let's talk about technology.
Yeah.
But if people can handle it, I mean,
that's fine.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's just really cool.
Yep.
So, yeah, we love that. We love that. All right, moving right along. Is 2 or 3 monitor setup worth it for gaming? Personally, I prefer single monitor for gaming.
I have a 2-monitor setup. When I'm gaming, my second monitor either is black or has like my voice comm chat windows on it. So,
If Apple upgraded their 27-inch Thunderbolt display to 5K for the same price, would you buy it? Sure. That would be awesome.
blah.
No idea, Gilbert. Sorry. Oh, what I'm putting in the... okay. What's a good power supply? 750 is fine for that. Tell Slick it's called a dealership.
I'd forgotten what the name of the place was where we went to go buy cars.
Okay. Dealerships, grocery stores.
Grocery store.
No, just places where you buy things.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
helping you.
Okay.
Mall. Okay. Kiosk. We're improving Slick's vocabulary one step at a time. I mean, you'd be looking for a dealership, you'd have to comb that town with a brick, asking people where the dealership is.
Where's that place where you like go look at cars and stuff?
Ethan asks if we'll sign his side panel if we pay for shipping. Honestly, dude, you don't want to pay for shipping to us. It's going to be
so
like
expensive.
a couple $100. Don't do it. Good mechanical keyboard for $180. Anything you want.
Yeah, man.
Go for it. And 7990 benchmarks. We're actually, you know what? Here, I'm gonna stop the Twitter blitz because I want to talk about this. $79.90 benchmarks. We can't really run them properly because we don't have a frame capture setup.
Sorry, keep going.
I mean, it's on the bench right there.
Yeah.
In fact, if I aim this at it, you might be able to see it.
Kind of.
There it is.
You can't really tell what it is, but that is it.
That's a $79.90 on a test bench.
Yeah.
We can't do it yet, and we need a $2,000 capture card. So we've been having some discussions. We're talking about maybe doing a Kickstarter to help us afford one. We've been trying to find a sponsor to help us afford one.
But it's hard as a sponsor to shell that out.
Justify that. I mean, we did have a sponsor step up and provide us with 4 SSDs that we could use for this.
Because you need that type of storage solution to be able to, like, it's hard to properly test frame rating on graphics cards.
Yeah, because right now the numbers we'd get would be kind of useless.
Yeah.
But what we were thinking about doing in the meantime is benchmarking it and then doing a double-blind test with him and then a double-blind test with me to see if that difference between the reported FPS and the perceived FPS, which we can't measure but we all know exists, is something that we can perceive. So we were going to do a blind taste test, 7990 versus GTX Titan, to see which one we think feels faster, or if we can even tell. So I thought that might be a cool angle.
We were going to do like dual 780s.
Yeah.
So that it's a similar price range and 2 cards. It's not, of course, a combined card, but it's still 2 cards.
We still need another 780 for that.
We still need another 780. We'll figure out something. 2 Titans. Well, we have to do it SLI versus
we have another
Crossfire.
780 in the mail, though.
Yeah, okay, so we'll do 2 780s. But,
So-
like, that's... We were thinking of doing that so that there's no investment, because we can't buy a $2,000 capture card. But, yeah. I don't know.
So, yeah.
Whether
Anyway.
we do Kickstarter or something, we are trying to release benchmarks of this kind of stuff, and we want to release higher-end graphics card benchmarks. Like higher-end as in not the graphics card, but as in the theory that goes into it.
Yeah, we
But,
want to be more scientific.
Yeah, we just
You know
can't
what?
right now.
We're going to have to blitz some topics here.
Sure.
Did you do the ISP in New Zealand?
No.
Okay, let's do that. Let's get it on.
So where did my livestream.co? There it is.
There we go.
So there's an ISP in New Zealand that is releasing I think it's called Global Mode. It's somewhere in there. I think it's called Global Mode, which hides your location and allows you to access services that are country bound. Everyone's seen on YouTube, well, not everyone, but people have seen on YouTube where it's like, you can't watch this video in your region or anywhere else, really. That's really annoying.
Yeah, places like Comedy Central.
Comedy Central.
For the longest time, South Park was streamable in Canada. Then it got nixed.
Then it got nixed, yeah. So this will allow you to view it wherever. Stuff like Netflix. I know, I think Netflix US requires a United States credit card now or something.
Possibly.
Something's going on there, but like other services that just check for your region, it's allowing you to get around it, and it's at the ISP level. I know there's other ways to do this. It's not, the idea isn't completely revolutionary, but it's very streamlined, which is cool.
That's very cool. So the way that they're marketing this is as a service that allows visitors to New Zealand to access the same online services that they would at home.
Yes.
Wow, that's sketch as balls. I don't think anyone believed that. But that's very cool. I mean, speaking of ISPs that are actually trying to do something to help their customers as opposed to just maintain the status quo, that's very cool. And out of Australia, New Zealand, of all places, where typically internet policy-wise they've been in the dark ages.
For a while now.
Well, since the dark ages. No offense to anyone from there, but I think you guys know better than us how horrible it is there. So we have 4,400 live viewers right now. That's, I think, a record. So
I think so,
so. You guys are awesome.
That's
okay.
awesome, yeah.
So let's move into our next topic, which is
21-year-old receives a $25 million funding. This is from a bunch of different corporations, a bunch of different groups. $25 million for a payment app. They're not releasing a lot of information about it, but basically his whole thing is that he's been frustrated having to carry around a wallet with credit cards and cash in it, and he wants to be able to do it through your phone. This type of thing has been kind of flopped around for a really long time. I'm interested it's going to a 21-year-old and not something like Google Wallet or PayPal.
Yeah.
Because this, I think it's called Clinkle or Clinky or something like that.
Clinkle.
Clinkle. It's going to be a new app. There isn't a ton of information about it yet. It's not even out yet. It's not even developed yet fully.
The Clinkle website says it is rebuilding the analog wallet from the ground up to bring you the future of payment. And Duplin, Lucas, whatever. Okay, first name Lucas is keeping quiet about what it actually does.
So there's something big coming. If all these, it names a few players in there. I don't remember who, but there's a bunch of big companies putting big money behind this.
Okay, so Intel, former Facebook COO Owen Van Natta, and wireless technology company Qualcomm have all invested their money and faith in him.
So, like, yeah, this is going to be a big deal. Like, whether you want it to happen or not, this is going to be a big deal.
Huh. Very cool.
So soon, I think, we will have the option to pay with things with our phone.
So get
Pay for
this.
things.
At the same time, like we're at such a crossroads, at the same time, you will be able to pay with metal, you'll be able to pay with paper, you'll be able to pay with plastic, you'll be able to pay with plastic electronically, you'll be able to pay by writing on a piece of paper that you commit to pay it. I mean, come on, checks still exist? Really? And you'll be able to pay just by like whipping out your phone.
This is very interesting because when I was in Korea, they had this thing called T-Money. I don't have it on me, but it's basically, it looks like a credit card, or you can get other forms of it, which are dongles.
Are you sure it wasn't like a US rapper? Oh no, it's T-Pain.
I know, it's T-Money, right? It sounds so ridiculous.
T-Money.
T-Money. So it's...
So I was paying for my stuff, and then I got bored, so I pulled out my wallet, and then came the horde of people who were making me not able to pay, so I thought I'd make an app called Crinkle. Happy day!
That's actually pretty good. L-Money?
L-Money?
L-Money.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay, so basically what it was you'd tap it on whatever you had to pay for. You could go, certain stores supported this.
Someone says
Taxis
worst
supported
freestyle ever? Come on!
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay, you could pay for certain things for it at stores. You could pay for taxis with it. You could pay for any form of transit, and like it's awesome. It was very cool, and all you had to do was tap it on the thing. I believe it was through NFC. Like, so cool, and it was so easy. It was so easy to load.
We're down to 1,200 viewers. They all left.
Because you're rad.
No, just kidding. But yeah, something like so that exists too.
It already exists. So, and I think it's done through NFC.
Right.
So if it's
that's cool.
NFC off your phone, it basically already exists.
And PayPass already exists.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what it's branded as there, but when you take your credit card and you just wirelessly.
Yep. So we're already pretty much there. It's just moving it onto your phone.
Yeah. So we're heading in that direction. Very cool stuff. So no, we did lose about 100 viewers though. That's a shame. I guess I shouldn't rap anymore. Next topic is, here we go. Connect for PC and Connect for Xbox will be different. Now, I think I'm going to let you handle this because I already knew this. Because I talked to them when we were at Computex about it. But go ahead and talk about this.
I didn't see anything in it about this. The article that I read about it was fairly critical.
Yeah. Well, I would think so.
Yeah, but there could be something with different functionality. There could be something else going on. I'm not really sure, but it's not releasing for a while.
So Connect for Xbox One, for those of you who didn't catch the headline because we didn't say it yet, will not work on PCs. Now, we saw the Connect SDK, the kit, which included a Connect for PC at Computex, but it was old Connect, not Connect for Xbox One.
I didn't see this.
So this is yet another example of Microsoft holding back the PC on purpose.
And
why?
And it's not releasing for a long time, and the dev kit's going to be $400.
Like,
which is like,
someone's going to hack an Xbox One Connect before they spend $400 on a dev kit.
They're already hacking.
Yeah.
To get the new SDK on it?
Yeah.
I don't. That would be.
No,
weird.
I mean to be able to do something with it, I would think.
I think someone will sooner hardware hack an adapter to be able to plug in the Xbox One Connect into a computer.
Or something.
Or something.
Of course, hardware hackers may well develop their own.
Bam.
That's that.
That's people are gonna try because that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty frustrated with Microsoft's general behavior. I mean, the kinds of things that something like Connect, let's just call it Connect One.
What
I
Connect?
guess. Sure, Connect One which is the second one. Connect One, like the kinds of things it would enable on the PC, things like online shopping, being able, virtual fitting room for clothing, things
Way
like...
better than the previous one.
I mean, things like, even VR gaming from like a very basic rudimentary standpoint.
The Omni uses it to track your feet
Yeah,
moving.
Omni uses it. I mean, we're not going to be able to use, and it's a good thing Omni's working on their own, or Virtuix is working on their own solution for motion tracking because
they need to move away from it now.
they can't use Kinect's old Kinect anymore, apparently. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
And the stuff people have hacked, what do we even want to call it now? Kinect Original, to be able to do is very helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of disabled people have been using Original Kinect to interface with their
I
computers.
mean, that's the thing that Microsoft was demoing at Computex, is what Kinect can be used for in, like, medical applications.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but they don't need HD, I guess.
It's like, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
Like, okay, they are going to release it.
That's
It's just way in the future.
really offensive. So, anyway, moving right along to our next topic here. Samsung releases their flawless curved 55-inch TV. So let's go ahead and show you guys this. So basically, they're making the same kinds of claims as LG. So that is that a curved display will give a more natural viewing experience because your eyes will be an equal distance from the screen, regardless of which part of the screen you're looking at. I personally don't find for something like a 55-inch size, at the distance that I sit from it, that it becomes much of a factor. But for something like a theater, obviously it's a big deal. Or if I was sitting much closer to the screen. However, I mean, I think it's cool. It'll be interesting to see how that works out for them. And then the other thing about this monitor is they are claiming that it is quote unquote flawless. So because of the way that they've designed it, the potential for defective OLED pixels is quote unquote eliminated. So we may be moving towards, and this is really cool, we may be moving towards a future where you don't buy a tier 1 display that has a dead pixel on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So so there you go. It's going to be priced at 15 million Korean won, so about 1,300 US, which is not that outlandish when you consider what guys were asking for 4K TVs not that long ago. What did Sony want for theirs?
Wasn't
Like
it
40
40?
grand? 40 grand?
I think it
Oh, it
was
was
40. I could be wrong, but it was huge.
It was huge.
It was like way out of my price range.
To be a year early, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Ouch.
No. Thank you.
I'll wait a bit.
Yeah,
No big deal.
I'm good. Okay, let's go. You know what? Let's do Razer Surround. Or no, let's do that at the end. Why don't you do the Torrent Freak article?
Okay, so the Torrent Freak article.
Yeah. AT&T gets the patent to monitor and track file sharing traffic.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the other Torrent article.
I can think of companies that I'd rather have the patent on that technology than AT&T.
And like they haven't talked about whether or not they've been using it already because they just have the patent.
Okay.
They haven't been like we are going to deploy it or we have already deployed it or whatever. They're just signing up for the patent. This could be already running.
Okay.
It could be running in the future. It like no one really knows. But yeah, whether the company is already using the system to track infringing content or has plans to do so is unknown. And if they have been tracking infringing content, they could all have all that in logs. So a lot of people could be getting in trouble.
So in the patent, AT&T notes that peer-to-peer traffic amounts for a large percentage of traffic generated on the internet, some of which results in a loss for copyright holders. For example, some content may be legitimately purchased and downloaded by users via P2P. However, some content may be pirated and illegally copied and distributed P2P. Violating copyright laws, etc., etc. AT&T's system will be able to detect what is downloaded on P2P networks, suggesting that this information can be used to track and counter piracy. Based on the verification, the list may be modified, etc., etc., etc. The present disclosure may be used to, etc., etc., etc. So, guys, if it is worth noting, it's worth nothing rather that AT&T participates in the Six Strikes copyright alert system, where P2P users are also monitored. The main difference is that under that program, the monitoring is carried out by the third-party company, which only tracks a list of titles supplied by the MPAA and the RIAA.
Now they track everything.
Now they can just track everything, and they can do it dynamically. So they can actually generate a list of what is being pirated, rather than relying on a list of things
that is
to monitor.
Yeah. So they can use this to infringe upon you however they would like, and they can use this to throttle the crap out of your connection if they feel like it.
Yeah.
Which is...
Do we have build logs of the week? I don't see them in the thing here.
We do, but the PowerPoint's not ready.
The PowerPoint's not ready.
Yeah, because I was doing it as we were leaving NCIX.
Okay, why don't I talk about Razer Surround, and then we'll wrap up with build logs of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a pretty good day at NCIX today. We got a lot of cool stuff done.
Yep.
So guys, check this out. If you've ever wondered about sort of whether you should buy a stereo headset or a surround headset, the answer for me has always been, if anyone can sort of fill in the blank for me here, let's see, anyone on Twitch? Something. Anyone on Twitch? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. If anyone could... Okay, I always say, guys, you got 2 ears. That's how many speakers you need when the speakers are right next to them. However, software surround is a thing. So if you check out the virtual barbershop tour or whatever it's called on YouTube and you're wearing headphones, it's a very cool experience. It really does feel like you're in an environment, and that can be done in software. I mean, that one wasn't done in software, if I recall correctly. It was done using a microphone array, but that can be simulated in software. Up until now, we've relied on individual headphone manufacturers to provide that software to us. So for example, Corsair with the Vengeance 2000 headset has Dolby headphone technology that was not in it and then added later as a software upgrade. So they haven't changed the headset in any way. What Razer has decided to do is just sort of go, okay, well, we're not gonna sort of worry about any of that anymore. We're just gonna do software surround for every headset. So I haven't tried it yet. I just heard about it the other day, and I'm pretty excited to try it. Razer Surround for Child's Play charity has apparently raised $15,000 to date. That's kind of cool.
That's awesome. Child's Play is great.
Speaking of charity, Linus Tech Tips for Charity has been down for a couple months. We haven't done a donation, but we should probably do something soon. And then I think we're probably going to close out that program because it doesn't seem to be making any kind of a difference. So
a few people are pretty hardcore about it. Other than that, no one seems to really.
Yep. So I mean, it's one of those things where, you know. Yeah, we thought we were gonna kind of do something that was gonna kind of make some kind of a difference, but it was a bit of a failure in terms of the effect that we were hoping that it would have and how excited people were gonna get about it. So anyway, Razer Surround gives gamers the best virtual 7.1 channel surround sound experience with any stereo headphones, and I'm reading this off their site, so I don't actually know that it's the best. I haven't tried it yet. Using state-of-the-art technology, the surround sound algorithms powering Razer Surround creates an unbelievably accurate surround sound environment and allows gamers to calibrate positional sound to match their own unique preferences. I've seen these in software surround solutions before, where you can actually move around the speakers and decide exactly where you want the sounds coming from. I think that a lot of hardcore gamers will still prefer to have no processing delay on the sound whatsoever and have this just stereo sound out of 2 speakers or even earbuds, because that actually gives you very strong positional audio as well. But for gamers that are looking for more like the experience, like if you're playing games like Skyrim as opposed to Counter-Strike, something like this can improve immersion. I mean, when we're talking surround sound plus Omni plus Oculus for experience type games, this is just very, very cool. And I think it's really neat that they don't lock it down to Razer headphones.
Yeah.
So if you want to use Beyerdynamics or Sennheiser or even direct Razer competitors like guys like SteelSeries or Logitech, Razer's kind of going, okay, go for it. We don't care. You don't have to buy any Razer hardware at all. But we've got Razer comms now, Razer Surround. I mean, Synapse, I think, relies on their hardware. But other than that, they've got comms and surround. And comms is quite excellent. Comms is actually the software we'll be using to test our call-in feature in the after party. So, guys, stick around if you want to try, if you want to see how it works. Because I don't think we're going to allow general public to call in just yet. You done with that yet?
I have to find it.
You have to find it.
I got it. Usually I save it. I know it's weird, but usually I save it to my downloads folder.
What's it called? June 28th?
Build Logs Friday, June 28th. It should be in the live stream agendas folder.
Live stream agendas folder? That's okay. I got this. I got this.
Boom. Okay.
We are on this.
So it never really looks that great when we open it this way, but this is the fastest way
we're going to
do it.
open it properly because it never looks that great when we open it this way. Wait, you said that, right? Good work. I won't have to fire you today. I haven't fired you in a long time.
Nope. So this is a... Oh, This is a wall-mounted home server.
Can they see me touching things?
Oh,
Whoop,
they
whoop.
can see you
Whoop,
changing
whoop,
the
whoop,
slide.
whoop, 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 whoop.
This is a wall-mounted home server, which is freaking amazing. All of these, by the way. So this is by user CompLX. His computer name is VX-24. This is
42.
a wall-mounted 40.
Dyslexia for the win.
Yeah.
EA. Okay.
That was awesome. If you should go check out all of these ones actually this week, especially. You should go check out the actual build because I tried to get photos that you could see the whole thing in. But there is way better photos to see specific parts of the build and to see specific features and to get way closer.
That is cool. So he actually took the stickers off the drives just to make it look more clean
Yep.
and space-age and futuristic.
Sleeved cables, which again, you can't see that great in this, but there is zoomed-in shots that look way
That is
better.
cool. It looks like it's built into like a Wii balance board or something.
I think he custom made it.
Fan control there. All the cables bundled together nicely at the bottom here.
Yeah, and I believe that the lights around the outside can change. Like
Wow.
it's awesome. This build is very cool. We have a whole bunch of builds that are currently in progress, that are on the way, and these are a few of them that just got completed, which are great.
Awesome.
This is another
Wow.
one. This is another one where you have to see the other angles of the system because I picked this one so that you could see that there is another side. Because with a two-sided, when you're supposed to look at it from two different sides, you kind of need to see different angles.
Look at those sleeved cables on
Yep.
that video card.
Yep.
Wow.
Like, this build is amazing.
Okay, someone's got to PM him and tell him to remove those cheesy SLI covers.
I didn't even notice that.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical, man, but
Beautiful build. You got to see the other side as well. There's a big radiator on the back.
that tubing and
Yep.
that accent blue
Super
right
sharp.
there, that blue water. I love this. This is
very, very
fantastic.
cool.
Is this metal construction?
I
It
should
looks
have
like
checked that. I do not know, but it
gotta
looks
be.
like it.
Wow.
And there's no way it's wood.
What a cool build. Okay, guys, so go check out ZD
Very
Mods'
cool.
build.
And then we see a lot of R4s, but you'll know exactly what happened with this immediately. Is
Holy
look at the
cow.
back.
So he pulled out the entire back of the case to put a triple Alpha Cool radiator in there. Doesn't need a graphics card, apparently, because this is a server build. There
Yeah.
you go.
And what I couldn't include in this is the back panel of the computer, because you can see up at the top there that he has nicely sleeved cables. Now, if you see the back, he has amazing runs going to his hard drives.
Huh.
They look. You have to see the picture. Like I
Look
can't
at this
describe it.
24 pin. That's beautiful. The way that it curves away like that.
Yep, and he did lacing that looks amazing. You got to check out the build. You got to see the back, and you got to see his little lacing guide that he's got.
Wow.
It's very, very cool.
That's very awesome.
So this week was crazy. We don't usually do 3 builds. This week was nuts.
Okay, so guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you for watching the live stream, and guys, stay tuned for the after party if you want to watch us play video games and sort of, yeah, if that's basically all you want to do right now.
We're gonna play video games. We're gonna test the call-in feature.
Oh, we're going to test the call-in feature. So you'll basically just be seeing how it's going to work for next
Yeah.
week, which might be a leg up. If
Maybe.
they know how it works, maybe they'll have a chance to call in.
Maybe.
I still am going to be interested to see how this works, but yeah,
It might just totally not work. But
And-
it did work in our test.
it did work in our test. So thank you guys for being awesome and all tuning in. And if you do prefer, we won't be upset if you go and watch The Tech, which to my understanding releases around this time. Logan's awesome. And we also won't be upset if you go watch the Star Citizen 24-hour stream, which is on right now. They're doing a big website overhaul and a 24-hour stream where they're giving some big updates, which we've been missing because we're here. But yeah, so that's another option as well. I'm so stoked on Star Citizen.
Yeah. Did you see the 300i cinematic?
Nope.
Holy crap.
I haven't actually watched or looked at anything.
You have to see this cinematic.
Okay,
Anyone who's interested in Star Citizen, recent update just came out, 300i. Holy cow.
Is that the ship I'm getting?
No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
Wait.
I think it's the ship I'm getting.
Constellation 300i, I thought.
Or maybe it is.
I'm pretty sure that's my ship.
300i. I might be quoting the wrong name as well.
Oh,
But I think a few of the names are super similar.
300i cinematic. I mean, we could do this on the after party. We should probably. Okay.
We should do this on.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for watching.